Do the plants block our face?
No. Dude, they're like at our knees.
Man, this is pretty... I'm really liking what's going on here.
It's almost feeling like a lounge room now.
It is. Well, you bought this table, and instead of the scat thing that you had before, I don't know,
Yeah.
was that like a stool or was that an actual table?
It was a table of... I don't know if you could call it a table of note.
I mean, it's taken you 8 months, but it's really starting to come together.
Well,
again.
we've made some serious strides in the last, I'd say, 8 weeks.
Yeah, like I think it's taken you at least 5 months to realize that you needed these things,
Mm.
and then since then you've kind of you've put into action a plan.
We've put in the work.
You know, I respect it,
I think,
and I'm enjoying what's going on.
yeah. Well, I have more time during the days now, so I'm like, what do? I just fucking, I don't know, go buy a coffee table.
Maybe you should become friends with Mikhail next door. You know, you both have days off during the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get to know him, extend an olive branch across the fence, and make amends for what's happened.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And maybe we can bond over, like, you know, I feel like we both like our plants.
Yeah, he can teach you a thing or two. Be like, hey, I know we're going through something right now, but, you know, my birds of paradise is dying over here, and I need you to come have a look at it.
Yeah, look, my plants are in trouble. And, you know, I need someone of greater experience than I.
Well, I'm quite the horticulturalist myself. I'll be able to. That is the fanciest word ever said on this podcast, by the way.
Kate said that to me the other day, and I thought it just meant, like, people who hoard shit in their houses.
No. I thought it was just exclusively to people who grew weed. The term horticulturalist, it was like a take the piss thing.
Oh, okay.
But like people actually do regard that that's a general term for people who are good with like plants and flowers.
That's a good way to say gardening.
Yeah. It's just a very good way of saying gardening.
Well, maybe Michael is a man of horticulture.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you after he responds to my metaphorical olive branch.
He could do with a bit of smoking, a bit of horticulture and
He
chill
probably
out.
could. He probably could, eh?
Yeah, baby.
Marshall gets away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
All right, nerds. Welcome back to the Barflies podcast.
Welcome.
Episode 50? Is it episode 50 today?
Shalom. Episode 50 is upon us.
I'm just going to say you did the 3, 2, 1 countdown just then. Threw me.
Yeah, I could tell.
I looked
I
over.
could tell.
I forgot the intro, dude.
Yeah. You started a bit.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, episode 50. Good to be back.
Mind games. Yeah, it is great to be back. You know, we had a splendid night together. As friends, maybe as lovers, but you know that's for us to know and people find out. And up in Newcastle over the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Mate, some great scenery up there. Little drive through a little bit of countryside, mostly the Pacific Highway, but there was a little bit of road winding and sights to see.
Well, the road winding right towards the tail end of the trip,
Yeah.
and upon the arrival of said destination, was lavish.
Spectacular, and it was that nice golden hour time as well.
Yeah,
so
the sun
it was on.
piercing through the tree
Yeah,
canopy.
It was almost a metaphor for what was to come.
Yeah,
You know.
it was.
Thank you.
It was.
Great night.
It was a great weekend. Shout out to Amelia for
Yeah.
having us.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
Yeah, that was fun.
Zan had a great time. We all had a great time.
Mm.
I was shocked that she actually lived on a farm.
You didn't know that? Well, I was thinking that I wasn't shocked because I knew she lived on a farm or a property, but I've just know that there's like a dirt road to get there. That's all I've really ever heard her say about it. And then when you got there, it was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, oh for sure.
There was did you see the little lake with
Yeah.
all the ducks and the
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was great.
sensational. I was just like, this is what she used to drive home from school down every day.
Mm,
That's
crazy.
different world to us.
Different stuff, mate. Different stuff. It's the mighty Warriewood for you.
Yeah, go Warriewood. Anything to report from the weekend?
Well, to be fair, this weekend, so I haven't really gone out last 3 weeks. I've been working. I've just not been drinking. And I've been feeling fantastic. I went out on Thursday night staff drinks. Ended up being a very late one. Went out to the city afterwards. Didn't get home till 4. Had a double shift the next day.
Where'd you go in the city? Go on.
Get ready. I mean, you know what? I don't even care because I had a great time.
He's already on the back foot. Go.
Ivy Thursday. And it was actually not bad. To be fair, it was we were already pretty blind and we were in good company. So it was fun. It was a bit
What's
chaotic.
entry?
I don't know, it was like $20, $15 or something.
Okay, it's not
But,
too
like-
bad.
Um,
Dude, apparently you have to pay to get into the Ivanhoe now.
yes, fuck that.
The
Mate, but I
Ivanhoe-
haven't been there since I've been about 19, so
The the Ivanhoe for our, non-Northern Beaches listeners is like the scattest.
nightclub pub destination on the Corso.
And don't get me wrong, Sandra and I many a night in the Ivanhoe.
Yeah, we have spent a couple of nights in there, to be fair. We
Have you
run
told
in-
the story about when I got back from Europe?
Oh,
and you
fire.
have we said that on the pod before?
Yeah, so I just met Cody, after a few months, and then he went to Europe.
So this would have been what, circa 2018?
Yeah, this is when we first met each other. Cody goes to Europe for a few months, comes back. I'm at the Ivanhoe, and I thought I was pretty fucked. And I walk past, and he's just sitting on the chair. I'm like, Cody, he's sitting on the stool, and you're like, mate, you couldn't even look at me. You're like, hey, mate, and you got to put your hand up, and just little limp hand comes out, and shakes my hand. I'm like, so good to see you, and I'm ready to dribble.
Like
and you're
about
like,
Europe.
yeah, and you're just fucking in another world.
Yeah.
And I'm going, how are you, mate? So good to see you, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, mate, thank you. Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
are you
yeah.
working again? You're like, yeah. Getting mild sentences out of you, and you're just gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll see him later. And then I told you about it at work when I saw you. I was like, do you remember seeing me last week?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I don't. And I was like, yeah, you were pretty fucked.
Yeah, that was our night guy, and he's very, very
Early stages.
early stages.
But yeah, back on topic, the Ivanhoe scat.
Yeah, and Kane was telling me the other, now you have to pay like
$10 or something
$10
to
to get in there.
upstairs.
And they were like, oh, there's DJs upstairs. So Kane goes up and he was like, yeah, there was 4 people on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Which is just disgracefully.
Yeah, it's scat.
Scat.
It's so scat. But yeah, Ivy Thursdays wasn't actually too. It was pretty fun. With I had to do a tacky boot at one point during the night. I was because I hadn't. We were doing shots at one point. Had to go off and do a little tacky.
What did
Came
you do
back.
shots of?
Fireball.
Okay.
And then one of our mates died after we got out, and he was, we had to take him home and proper look after him. One of our friends got kicked out at one point. She ran onto the stage, unprompted. We were standing, and she goes, "What would happen if I ran onto the stage? You reckon that'd be funny?" And we were like, "Yeah, I guess so." And then she just got up and ran on there, and then was for a second, and everyone cheered, and then got taken out, then snuck back in. So it was kind of funny. And then Friday worked a double. Finished work at 12:30 a.m. I was so hungover the whole day. Guzman burrito only went so far for so many hours. It was a pure mental.
Oh, you did that before the double shift on Friday.
correctamundo.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I know. I am a fucking idiot.
You're a clown. You were
That was
telling
night
me
guy. That was night guy. He's been gone for so long, and he came back.
This is where it all started. Day guy versus night
Yeah,
guy.
this kind of
Because
shit.
night guy does that, and then day guy's gonna fucking deal with it the next
Day
day.
guy was like, "Fuck you," but I've kept you away for a long time, so I was due. Saturday, got up, party. Obviously went to bed quite late that night. Big night. Sunday came around. I was rocked. I was bounced. I was absolutely nowhere to be seen, physically, mentally, spiritually. The equivalent of me at that time was a speck of dust in terms of just being.
Sure.
It was,
Like an atom.
yeah. I was
Like-
just existing.
A
but
shell
nothing
of
was-
you, a shell of yourself.
I was
shell
just,
of a
I was
man.
simply just existing.
Yeah.
Um,
What did your sort of your day look like after you got home on Sunday? Was it
was
it pretty strictly horizontal?
It was there was a lot of horizontal. It wasn't like I was hungover. I was just so I reckon. Well, I was a bit hungover to be fair, but I was just so, just fucking wrecked
Yeah.
that I just had nothing. So I just kind of watched the footy and had heaps of like I had clothes and stuff to do. It was an absolute write off.
Watching the
Watching the footy.
watching the Tigers Dragons game on Sunday. We won't get too into it, but that would have made you feel even. I know you got up in the end, but watching that was really, really tough.
Yeah, that was not a high quality game at all. I think the only time I really spoke was when I yelled when I kind of not even yelled. I just kind of squealed at the TV at one point. Pretty sure.
Just sounds came
Just,
out.
and then just got a tie. Thought that would lift spirits. Only did so much again. And then Monday, it was a 2-day. It was a 2-day affair. Monday as well. I was not coming over the other side of the city to film this podcast.
A little 2-day hangover.
It shan't be happening.
No,
It shan't not be happening.
no, shan't not.
Shan't not be happening. So look, but here we are. It's Wednesday morning. We're filming. How was your weekend? To extend upon mine.
My weekend was pretty uneventful, other than Saturday night.
Yes.
Obviously, I just worked. Had Sunday off. Look, put the feet up. They stayed up for most of the afternoon.
Horizontal action.
I think, we got home and had a nap pretty much straight away.
Respect.
Went straight to bed.
Yep.
And then got up, had dinner, went back to bed. And I was pretty okay yesterday. When you said you weren't coming, when we decided we weren't doing the pod on Monday,
Yes.
I was all at sea.
Yeah.
My day was like, I literally didn't know what to do.
No.
I was like, what do I do?
Or you just didn't know what you were doing.
I didn't know what to do. Because it was like 10 o'clock, 11. I was like, my day's thrown.
So what did you do?
I did all this shit in the living room.
It does look good.
Dude, I went to Bunnings. Because I don't know, I just like going to Bunnings.
Yeah.
There's always, you can just walk around and find something you need. You're like, I need that.
That's true.
As I did. So that's what I did. Literally walked out of the house and spent $70.
Happens.
It's-
Happens.
Like, how does that happen?
You know what? When you go into Bunnings, there's so much to look at as well. They have so much shit in there. It's similar to I feel like the Virgin people you always hear about people going to Aldi and just going there to get some groceries and buying like a tent and a knife set
Yeah.
and, like a lamp.
Yeah.
People just go there and get shit.
Yeah.
You just can't help it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. You just buy stuff. I have accumulated like a lot of stuff since we've moved out. I came here with nothing. I left everything. I left my desk, my drawers. Like, I didn't want any of my old shit. I
And
just
now
moved here.
you've come with...
And now I've got like double what I had before I moved out. But,
So
massive
what you're
prob-
saying is you actually have possessions now.
I own things.
You own things.
I own things.
Hear that, ladies and gentlemen? This bloke, bit of a flex right there. He owns stuff.
Well, what can I say?
Must be nice.
What can I say?
Must be nice to have a bed.
Yeah, massive problem when we move out.
Yeah.
That I'll have, way more to do. Well, that was the beauty. Like when I actually did move out, it was one trip.
Yeah, just
One trip.
clothes.
Dad brought my bed over, and I filled the Subi with everything else.
That's it.
And we were here.
But now you own things because you're a big dog. So
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to like hire a truck or something.
you just put it in Kennard storage until you
Nah,
find a use for it.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you
maybe.
own this table?
I own the table.
You beauty.
I can't remember if I own this couch or if we paid thirds of it. Anyway, it's by the by.
It's fine. We'll figure that out. Just go. Let's actually, while we're here, let's go through an inventory of everything you own and figure out whether it's yours or not. We'll start with this TV, Cody. What about that lamp on the wall? What about these DJ decks next to me?
Well, we could really get into that.
Mate, we could take up some time doing that.
That would be a great episode of 50. What do you guys have planned?
We're actually just going to do an inventory check on everything Cody owns.
Yeah, well, look, to be honest, we didn't even acknowledge that it was episode 50 before we started. I didn't know until I looked up mid-intro and saw that it was episode 50.
Yeah. Well, it's episode 50, small bat race.
Small bat raise. I think
Thanks
our
for doing-
half century is going to be 52 because it's like a year, right?
Well, no, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't because we've missed weeks and stuff. But I thought when we previously had a discussion, we were maybe going to like organize or like plan something for episode 52.
Oh, we're playing something for that because we've always set that as the mark.
So you're with me now?
I know what you're talking about now.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Where am I at today? As I've just finished a coffee. on the tail end of my work shift, started getting like a sore stomach of note.
It's one thing.
And it didn't go away. And then when I got home, I ate a chicken Cali burrito from Guzman
Yeah.
and a bunch of Messina ice cream, peanut butter and chocolate, and mint choc, half. So, and then I was feeling very sick throughout this whole thing, but I was hungry at the same time. So I was hungry and feeling sick, real dilemma. Kept pounding the burrito, whatever. Here we arrived this morning. And
Cafe Gold blend meets Cali burrito, Messina ice cream, and others, and enters into a very one-sided battle that results in one
outcome.
one known outcome.
One outcome. Look, you know, like you say, one singular cup of Nescafé Gold will simply crumble me.
It'll do plenty of work.
It'll get into its work. Alas, let's not get into the nitty gritty. Where were we? The train strike.
Yeah. Sorry, before we got rudely interrupted.
Yeah.
The train strikes. Yeah. So today in Sydney, right? Chaos. Absolute chaos. So train and bus strike. Apologies.
Can we start with it? Can you talk me through this? Because I actually don't really know what's going on.
So what happened is that
Or I
they
kind
got
of-
a new fleet of trains. In the inner west, or like for the city or the inner city ring. And apparently these trains have blind spots in their surveillance cameras, like on board. So they're worried that if staff are on board and they get attacked, like they might, like if there's blind spots, it causes safety concerns.
Sure.
Which I guess is fair. But this is like a month or a couple instances of striking about these fleets. And today, what is it, 70 or 75% of the whole of Sydney Trains network is not operational. And some buses are not operational today, particularly between the time of 4 a.m. till 7 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. So carnage.
Why are the buses striking?
I don't know. I read 3 articles last night, and they didn't really say. They just said on unrelated matters.
Unrelated to the trains?
They say unrelated, but it's kind of a bit.
That's cap.
It's cap. I don't believe them for a
They're
second.
related, mate, for sure.
They're related.
You're telling me the train drivers and the bus drivers aren't hombres?
Oh, they're related. They got an alliance. I don't think any of them like the ferry drivers because I feel like they're all a bit jealous of the ferry drivers. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Just because I feel like it's a much better vibe to be captain of a ferry than,
Yeah.
and they got a better name. Like your train bus driver, train conductor, captain.
Yeah.
You know,
I get ya.
like.
No, and if you
But do people even drive the trains anymore?
I have no idea.
Do you know?
I have
I imagine they sit there, but I don't imagine they do. I think they would know how to work if something went wrong, maybe they'd take over. But I mean, like a captain, like think about the Manly ferry, like the captain of the ship. He's driving that puppy.
Yeah.
When there is, 10-foot waves in the harbour and the ferry's getting thrown around.
He's not striking.
in an absolute gale southerly.
Yeah.
He's got some serious work to get through.
Yeah, he does.
He's got some proper work to do. So
They're probably on the big bucks for it as well.
I would say they're on some pretty.
Where
decent
does
money.
the Captain go on the ferry? I don't think I've ever
At
seen
the
him.
very top?
top on the top deck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm one frequent flyer that I think it was him, but it might have been someone else. I know, was on the ferry one time, sloshed, and he walked into the captain's room by accident looking for the toilet.
Oh,
And they're
really?
like, get the fuck out!
He's like, whoa.
And he got absolutely roasted for it. Like they just absolutely went at him.
Hey, guys.
But that's pretty funny. But
That
yeah,
would've been
captains would be on the big bucks, I'd say.
Yeah. Look, alas, the public transport system, while in Sydney, as opposed to other cities in the world, not unreal. It's not
It's
the
not
best.
terrible though.
It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest public transport of all time.
It's a pretty big city though. To be
Exact-
fair, it's massive.
For sure. My point is, regardless, when you take away the transport,
It's
it will
tough.
bring the city to its
It
knees.
took me. I left mine at 7:30 and I got to yours just before 9. morning.
8:42.
So that's not bad. That's actually not bad. But like, I think if I'd left a little. Oh no, I left a bit before 7:30. Sorry, but I think if I had left any later, it would have been worse.
For sure. I imagine it just would have built up. Why the bus? Yeah, I'm really intrigued about the bus strikes.
But the train one, that's why that is. But chaos today.
Was there cars just on the road? Like heaps of cars on the road this morning?
To be fair, there actually wasn't as busy as I thought it was going to be. I think it'll be worse this afternoon. I think this afternoon getting home will be the real problem. I don't think it wasn't too bad this morning.
What time will you be heading home this afternoon?
Probably right in the middle of when the buses aren't working.
Like 4?
Yeah.
Which
what
way
was
do
I-
you go home?
Roseville Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah. But what was I going to say?
That's right. Just move on. You know what they say if you forget things?
What?
Just stop thinking about it and just go on to the next conversation and it will come back to you.
It was such a good point though.
Oh, that's right. We'll see. It'll come back.
Anyway, the light rail's not on strike. The true goats of the public transport system. So big up the light rail. Something that happened to me. Oh, actually, speaking of Sydney, while we're on the topic, Hezbollah and Shaq were in Sydney for the last week
Yes.
and doing collabs.
Yeah.
Weird. One of the biggest men in the world, one of the shortest men in the world, collabing.
Did they collab together?
There's a video with them, and they're like driving on Sydney Harbour. They're riding on a boat on Sydney Harbour, and Hezbollah does his trademark punch
On
his
Shaq.
on Shaq.
Mm.
Met with a bit of
Yeah.
as if it was a big glancing blow. I reckon he actually would punch harder than you think, Hezbollah.
For sure.
I reckon. Although like people play it up a bit for the cameras, I think he would actually, for a man of his size, I think he would actually have a decent punch.
Well, yeah, I think so. I
think
think you often forget he's also 20.
Yeah, he's not a child.
No.
No.
Like he could,
I think he could.
there'd be a bit behind it.
I think you'd feel it.
Yeah.
I think you would feel
And
it.
maybe now people are just like, they've seen everyone else like putting on the act. But it's actually a cover up because it kind of hurts.
Yeah, I think you kind of add mayo onto it, but at the same time, like, fuck, actually,
This is like sweet.
this bloke's sweet. He's just punched, almost taking my eye out.
Yeah.
But you know,
I love Hezbollah. I'm
Same.
so
I'm about it.
fascinated. I'm so
I've been
amused
riding
and
this train for such a long time.
Same, and I won't get off.
No, I refuse.
Dude, his interview with the guy on Barstool.
Yeah,
is
the ice
undefeated.
cream one. That's what it's
Yes.
called, like the scoot. What's it? Sunday
I don't know.
something.
The guy with the long hair. on
Yeah, I
Barstool.
know the one you're talking about.
Have you seen the there's like a clip of him like when he's testing the mic, he like squeals into the mic.
Yeah, and they all
And
like
then-
all the
and
sound,
the sound engineers like, and then he just starts losing it.
and he does it again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
such a menace.
he's
Dude.
so funny.
He was doing a show or something like, because I tagged my sister in it, because me and her bond over our love for Hezbollah.
Hezbollah.
But I don't know, he was doing a show of some description, a ticketed event of sorts
In Sydney.
in Sydney.
Yeah, it's like a meet and greet.
okay.
Yeah.
I would have
Same
loved-
with Shaq. Shaq was supposed to do one of those. So with the Shaq thing, Shaq was supposed to do a couple of public appearances. One of them was at Culture Kings, I think, or maybe JD Sports in the city. And he was only there for like, he's supposed to be there for 2 hours or something, but he was only there for 45 minutes. And he
Oh,
was
yeah.
there late. And people were lining up on the street for, like, this went all the way down George Street, like
Right.
massive, massive crowd. And he kind of just kind of turned up for a bit, but only to a select audience.
Yeah, right.
Everywhere he's went though, you just see there's just been like crazy. Like I know Shaq's a superstar and he's big, but I didn't really realize how big he was in Australia until all these people just showing up.
I haven't seen any of the footage, to be honest.
People are literally, there's so many people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Would you rather meet Shaq or Hezbollah?
Oh, that's tough. I feel like Shaq, just because it's Shaq, he's got a bit more clout than Hezbollah,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like he's like Shaq. Like, it's pretty
pretty
cool.
sick.
Like it's pretty sick. Like Hezbollah's cool, but I also couldn't have a chat with Hezbollah because he speaks a different language.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when Shaq is like, I can talk to Shaq.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
no disrespect to Hezbollah, I would also like to meet him, but I don't think I'll be able to.
And ironically, I feel like you're less, not ironically, but just because Shaq's so big and scary,
Mm.
you're less likely to get injured meeting Shaq than you are Hasbulla.
True, you actually are.
You might catch an unwanted glance.
Yeah, that's
from
about it.
Hasbulla. Glancing blow, I should say.
Yeah, but Shaq, mate,
Shaq probably won't punch you in
won't
the jaw.
throw one. I tell you, what, you'd know about it if he did. for sure.
Yeah. Dude, his whole hand would probably just like.
Oh, it would cover. It'd be like one of the things from Alien. It would cover your whole face.
Yeah,
It'd
yeah.
be huge. Like yeah.
It'd be
But
more.
I feel like actually, speaking of that, everyone that's met him so far, and like every radio interview you've met, it's so fucked. Everyone's literally just asked him how big his dick is, and like made that hands joke, and went like, "Oh, does it match your jaw?" Like everyone has made the exact same joke,
Yeah, sure.
and it's like this guy's like an NBA legend superstar, you know. Like, who would have so much knowledge of other shit? And you're literally like, he's at first time in Australia in probably years and years. And the first question, everyone goes, how big's your dick, mate? Your fucking hands are huge. Like, what? Come on. We can
Yeah.
do better than that,
We're
surely.
better than that.
Surely we can do better. Like, fuck.
Dude, some mainstream media outlets that were just so not funny.
Yeah. But it was, swear, it was every outlet I saw him get interviewed by.
Unanimous.
They had the same question.
Yeah, I hear.
I mean, yeah.
Look,
Come on.
downvote from us.
Yeah.
You can guess. You can probably assume it's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, like, you'd probably say something, maybe, but like,
Anyway,
come on.
onwards.
I was a bit disappointed. You know,
Disappointed in
I love
us.
a good, I love a shit joke, and I love a good. Man, I'm all here for shit jokes, but shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think people who, especially when like being Australian is like the novelty and like comparing Australians to other
yeah,
countries, I feel like it's just a bit cringeworthy at times.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Vis-a-vis what you've just said.
it is.
You know
It
what I
was
mean?
a
Just
bit.
makes you kind of cringe.
It was a bit cringe. I was a bit like, come on, guys.
Anyway,
Come on, guys. Surely you got a better question for the Big Shack. Alas, we did not. I'll just like to take a quick mention quickly. Supercoach winner of our Supercoach comp, the third best Salmon we know, Chris Riley. We used to work with him. Great bloke. Congratulations. I feel quite hard done by that I didn't win personally, but you've done well, mate. Congrats. No prize, just clout, just respect.
here's your respect from us.
Here's your respect from us. Well done.
Xander
We're
whinging
proud of you.
again that he was hard done by. I'd argue he just doesn't get Supercoach. I've been saying it since day one. Look,
I'm actually in my drafts grand final.
he keeps going on this yarn. I've scored so many points. Didn't even make the finals.
Look, mate, I know a thing or two about Supercoach, right? Don't you try and lecture me on that. Okay?
Well, you didn't make the finals. That's
No.
all I'm saying is you didn't make the finals.
No more about it than you. And you were gone first week. You trash, mate.
Shout out Chris. Though.
Shout out, Chris.
Good
Well
work,
done.
mate.
Not to get sidetracked. Well
Good work.
done.
I
frequent
think
flyer?
I think he's a frequent flyer. I was thinking about it the other day. I would have no idea who fucking listens to our podcast if they don't tell us.
No,
I would have no idea.
I wouldn't know.
Like there's
I'd speculate. I'd
Yeah.
100%
I'd
speculate.
go, they probably do,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't know.
But-
they might listen to 1 in 4. But
One,
there's still like a consistent viewership there. So it's like I don't know who.
someone must be.
I know of like 3 people that do.
I know the two people talking right now listen to frequent flyers. And it's
We
their
have
own
to.
podcast.
It's part of the job. Okay, should I talk about my brush with lame while we're kind of on?
Yeah.
It's really lame.
While we're talking about celebrities,
It's really lame, but it does kind of lean into, a bit of a yarn.
Come on.
Alas, anyway, Xander and I are big fans of the Hello Sport Boys.
Massive.
I feel like a lot of our listeners would know who they are. I ran into the brother of one of the Hello Sport Boys, who's the beer rep for Yuli's, came into work. What was interesting that I talked to him about, though, was he made notes that the new stadium is opening this week.
Yep.
Were you not going to go to that game? Rabbitohs Roosters?
No.
Did you tell me you were going to go to that?
No.
Roll the tape. It was on the podcast. I remember it.
I said I said would it be go? It'd probably be good to go.
Okay.
Never said that I was going.
Okay.
Don't put words in my mouth, mate.
That's what is that Friday night?
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna say yes. It is. Yeah.
I'm very intrigued. I can't wait for it to open.
I think it's gonna be fantastic.
And after that, They is
And
there
then they playing the first final there as well. I'm
is
pretty
there a
sure.
need for ANZ Stadium?
No.
Is ANZ Stadium a rectangle?
I'm so anti. It's both. It can be both. Like it can be both shapes.
Is it a circle? They don't play AFL there.
Yeah, they do. They
At
have.
ANZ.
They have before. Yeah. It can be both because they can retract seats. Because it was the Olympic Stadium.
Gotcha.
I'm so anti ANZ.
It's
I
the
think
worst stadium.
or Accor as is now. I reckon it's so shit.
It
It's
sucks.
just big. It's just big, but it's not. It's got nil atmosphere. Doesn't matter where you sit. I feel like you're far away from the action.
Yeah, you can't see what's going on. All the seats are so like flat, like especially in that bottom bay,
Yeah.
like the GA down the bottom. Like the seats are literally like flat, like that, so you can't see anything. Like you could be like 10 rows back, and you're still at like head height.
But when you watch, like I went to Parramatta Stadium, unreal to watch the footy at.
Yeah.
Watch the soccer there. Sorry. But I imagine footy would be the same. Also, the SFS was a good stadium watch games at before they redid it. So I can imagine now it would be absolutely magnificent.
I can't really remember the SFS that well.
I can. It was pretty. It probably
wasn't-
needed some love. Like it was a
needed
bit
love.
old.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a fantastic stadium, and I think they should play all games, all games there or at Parramatta. And I think that they need to find something else. That ANZ, I don't know what they're gonna do to redevelop it, but
They got to do something with ANZ.
I feel like why would any team want to go there and use it? Like it's just big.
Yeah.
It doesn't provide anything.
No atmosphere. And even that was the thing with the SFS. Even at the SFS, the Roosters were still only getting like 10,000 people to a game in like a 60,000 seat stadium. Like, so I'm hoping with this. I'm hoping that the new stadium and like the better, I suppose, viewage that you'll get at the stadium will bring more people into the game. I'm told Merivale owns like all the
beverage and food, right? The
the
beverage and
catering?
food contracts. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got all that. So like, I think you can go and get like fine dining Italian.
Yeah, there's
Like,
so
there's
many
a Totti's
options.
there.
There's so much options. They have it at
Um,
the SCG as well. There's a lot to get.
For sure.
But I quite like the way that they've got Justin Hems doing it.
Yeah.
I like the way that it's a bit more. There's just a bit more doing.
Yeah. You like that? I'm still only going to go and get a pie.
I know, but you can still do that. But there's another experience there for you if you
If you please.
please.
I am worried though that the prices and still the ticket prices will deter people from games, because that's why people don't go now, because it's just too expensive. It's just too fucking expensive.
Well, if that's happening, you'd hope they change that.
I don't know. I think like with the food prices, I think like once they've got you in there, they're kind of just like they'll pay it because they're here.
I think it kind of pushes people to become members of their home teams more than anything.
Does it though?
Well, because if you pay for your membership and if you go to, I don't know how much a membership would be, but if you go to at least half the home games in the year and you're spending X amount of money, if you're a member, don't you get free tickets every home game if you pay your yearly thing?
I don't know. I've never been a member. I'll have to look into it.
I think that there's levels, but I mean,
Yeah. You might get. I think maybe if you get the base membership, you'd get like two home games or something.
it could be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably equals out to cheaper than buying the tickets, GA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know I don't know how worth it would be. I still don't think it would be like unreal. I still think that like if the other stadiums are anything to go off, I'm a little bit worried. But we'll see. It's fun and exciting.
Yeah.
It's sold out on
It is.
Friday. Yep.
I just don't want to I just don't see the necessity for ANZ or Accor when you've got like a 40,000 brand new Parramatta Stadium, state of the art, and then you've also got the new SFS Stadium, which is, how many does it seat? Probably like 50,000 or
I think
something.
it's 45.
45. Yeah, and as well you've got the SCG next door, which seats 55,000 if need be, where you can have AFL, NRL, Union, cricket. You know.
I think with the 45,000 seating, like people might argue like that's not enough. That's not enough seats in the stadium, especially for grand finals and stuff. But I think like,
Well, Suncorp's only 55.
and well, that's my point. I think the fact that it is smaller, they will get total like their average spectators will be higher each week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like I don't know. Even though you might max out at 45 on the big days,
Mm.
throughout the rest of the season, you might get like your average up to like 19, 20,000.
Mm.
Which would be a lot better than sort of the
To be
8.
fair though, like all the Manly games I've went to this year have had good crowds.
Yeah.
Like really good. At Brookie, I went to a couple. Probably went to like 4 or 5 games this year. All of them have had a good crowd.
Yeah.
The Titans game was on like a Sunday on one of the long weekends, almost a sellout.
Mm.
I think it was. I think it Brookie probably has like a 19,000 capacity.
Something like that.
There was 18,000 people there,
There was
and there was about 10 Titans
when I went to the
fans.
Tigers Manly game, like mid-season, sold out.
Manly or the Tigers home ground.
Manly, Brookie,
Yeah.
against the
It
Tigers.
was sold out.
Yeah, sold out.
Wow.
It was packed. It was fucking shockers.
Yeah.
We like jammed up against the wall on the hill. It was so tight.
Thursday night, Chucky's Manly game. It was the Pride game. There was probably 12,000 people there.
Yeah, still that was the
On a
Gotcha for
Thursday
Life
night.
round. Yeah,
Like pretty
Yeah.
good turnout.
yeah, I was there that night.
Oh, I saw you. That's right.
You did see me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alas.
We'll
Yeah.
stay in
That's what we think about Sames.
Are we done here?
Yeah, we'll move on.
Okay.
Okay, let's hit the conspiracy theory real quick. This week, Barfly's Trivia, the conspiracy theories series continues. Is this part 4? Part
Yep.
5?
Part 4.
Part 4. Go for a nice little easy one today because we have to make this episode quickly. Because I have uni. But, I still put effort in. It's still going to be good, I promise. But, a popular one, the Bermuda Triangle. Have you heard of this, Cody?
I've heard
Surely
of it. I
you've
know
heard of
nothing
this.
about it.
But you've heard it.
I've heard of it.
What do you know?
Not much.
As a naive, stupid, if you will, individual, what do you know about this?
To be honest, not much at all. The only thing I couldn't tell you where it is. I have no fucking idea. The only thing I know about this Bermuda Triangle, I think, is that it's like a bit of a black hole. Do things like go missing here and shit?
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
that's all. That's literally all I can give you.
All right. That was good. That was good
Okay.
though. That was a good effort.
Hold my head high.
You should hold your head high. Okay. So I'll start off. So the triangle itself, I'll give you its location. So the triangle is an area over the North Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda, to the north to Puerto Rico and south, and so it's between Bermuda, Puerto Rico, and Florida.
Okay.
So that's the triangle. All right.
Where is Puerto Rico? Is that off the east coast?
Yes, it's at the bottom. It's just like in Central America,
Okay.
in those islands off, like in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
There's like Cuba and Costa Rica
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, a patch of ocean which has supposedly caused the demise of countless ships and planes that have passed through it, has puzzled scientists for years. For years, Cody. For years. Conspiracy theorists alike have drummed up every possible scenario because it is a bit of a black hole because no one knows. There's not any really recorded data of from many of these ships or anything. So, there's just like obviously the classic aliens like UFOs, massive rogue waves that occur through there. Atlantis. People think Atlantis is buried. Or
Oh,
is at
do
the
they?
bottom of the triangle. Or that magnetic forces cause malfunctions and, thus explain the disappearances. Like they cause malfunctions to like electrical circuits or compass circuits. They go off course, blah, blah, blah. And, they become undone, mate. They become brought undone. Through my short research, I found that 34 recorded events in the last couple of hundred years.
Yep.
But there could be many, many, many more. But 34 is still a lot.
That's
For
not
that-
nothing.
That's not it's reoccurring, and a lot of them have been, and most of them, that's only in probably the last 150 years,
And they're saying
200 years.
they're saying they don't know where any of these are. These are like unexplained.
unexplained.
Okay.
They just either go missing or they sink, and they just don't not to be in contact with again.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Bizarre.
very bizarre. But the most recent one, it actually happened in 2020. So that is not long ago, where a 29-foot blue and white cabin vessel, so a boat, with 20 on board, last seen publicly departing on December 28th, 2020, and they went through the triangle.
So do people
Never seen
still
again.
actively go through the triangle? Is it?
People still go through it, I
Okay.
suspect. But like, I mean, you'd
And-
be a bit etched going through it. You'd be a bit like, okay,
What's
this
the
is-
general consensus though? Are people who are more adept in the sailing game? Do they sort of laugh at the Bermuda Triangle theory and go, just a bit of bloody water, mate?
Well, look, I didn't get that deep into my research, but I feel like when there's been this many times it's happened, I feel like you kind of have to take it seriously. But as well, I will say it is a very popular shipping route because the Panama Canal is kind of in that region as well.
Bulk ships
Miami,
go through
Miami has a lot of ports. You know, it's a very popular sailing location. Like it's in the Caribbean, it's in between the tropics. You know, so I mean, if you got lots of boats in one area, then like that's where the most boats are maybe going to sink. But still, interesting nonetheless. But the fact that planes have gone down there as well, like multiple aircraft, is quite astonishing too.
This one, yeah. No, this one's super interesting. It's super interesting because, again, it's not otherworldly. It's just like,
No,
it's just mystery.
but this one is purely like mystical, and like you can add an element of, like I mean, aliens and stuff. But in this one, no one can really say you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nice bit of a change up there. But that's just a classic. I feel like everyone knows that one.
Yeah, people would know about it
That's
for sure.
that's a classic. That's just, you know,
It's meat and potatoes, mate. It's meat and
meat and
potatoes.
potatoes, mate. Meat and potatoes of the conspiracy theory world. But yeah, there
Another
we go.
episode of Nat Geo Barflies.
Another episode of Nat Geo Barflies done, completed. Here we go. I wanted to follow up on something that you said last week, or not you. Well, we discussed last week. Sorry, teaching Aussie slang to fellow co-workers who English may be their second language, they're new to the country, etc. Teaching them applicable words, not like the cringe ones.
Yeah.
Um,
Teaching them real life stuff.
teaching them stuff that you can actually use.
Yeah.
One that I forgot to talk about last week, but I'll talk about this week because I think you'll like it, is G-up. And I was trying to explain what a G-up is, and I found it so difficult to try and contextualize the G-up
Yeah.
because it can be used so many different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
But to pinpoint it to one was very difficult.
I would say it's just like a prank.
Yeah, it is like a prank, but also, you know, it cannot be. So it can be like, "Oh, have you G'd up that thing yet?"
True.
You know, people can use it in different ways. Or you're like, "Oh yeah," like it is a like if like a G up is
Or you could also be fire up. G up. bro.
yeah, like I'm G'd up right
I'm
now.
G'd up, yeah.
Do you know
Oh,
like that's three
dude,
different
'cause
ways?
Instantly I was just like, oh, G up, like a prank. Like,
But that's the most basic term, the way I described it. But then I kind of started saying the other one. She's like, "Wait, so what does it actually mean?" And I went, "Oh no, I've kind of made it very confusing."
because you could say stop G'ing me up,
Exactly.
and then I could instantly go stop G'ing up. Two totally different meanings. Wow.
Contextual.
And then can you G that up?
Yeah, and then like, can you go G that? Have you G'd that thing up for me yet?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
See,
Hard
tough.
to explain.
Very hard to explain. I just ended up kind of saying that it was like a prank, or like if you were trying to rattle someone a little bit, you would G them up. If you were G'ing them up, you were trying to like get a rise out of them. You'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm just G'ing you up.
Yeah.
Just chill, man. I'm just
Just,
you know, oh,
Just
just
G'ing you up.
or if, like you said, like if someone was doing it and you could tell that they were doing it, you would say, "Oh, that's a G up."
For sure.
Yeah, and then I got asked, "How do you spell G up?" And I was like, G hyphen up. What? That doesn't make any sense.
It's literally made up language. It's literally made up.
I don't know who made up J Up though, but it is a great
It's awesome.
phrase. It's a great phrase.
I first remember it hearing coined on like the Footy Show in the 2000s. I don't know.
Yeah, hear it on radio. I hear it always on Triple M.
It's a dead set.
Anthony
J-Up, yeah.
Anthony Maroon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loves it.
Gus Wallen always says J Up as
yeah,
well.
Mark I, MG.
Yeah, they always say J Up.
It's funny that you brought this up again because I literally think we only spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, but I had the second person ever tell me that I sound more Australian than Australians.
Really?
Yeah, like I was having some drinks with work people on Friday night, and one of their friends sat down and she was full Scottish from Glasgow. Couldn't understand her at all. But she kept going, "You two sound different between me and just like this chick from work, who to me, we sound the exact same. But apparently I sound just
Way
more Australian somehow."
Would you know what's funny is when my sister was in Scotland last, in Glasgow, she was showing like a family friend our podcast. So, because they were saying to her, "Oh, you sound very Australian." And then she said to them, "Wait, do you hear this?" And showed them, boom, boom, showed them this. And they went, "Wow, that is definitely up there."
So we're more Aussie than your sister as well. Is that what you're saying?
Not to flex.
I could kind of get it when you say things like, when I serve people like, "Hey mate, how you going?" It's like one word.
But I swear everyone says that though.
So yeah, so do I, but apparently not. That's kind of the only thing in my mind where I'm like, I could understand how that sounds more Australian than. But like right now when we're talking,
Yeah.
this doesn't feel more Aussie than it.
No, you just feel normal. What's funny about you saying that as well? A new international started. This French girl, and we were having work drinks, and she goes, I thought she couldn't understand what I was saying because it was loud because there was music, and she's like, "Oh no, it's not really music. I just can't really tell what you're saying." And I was like, "Fuck, damn it. Happened again." So, dribblers everywhere.
This chick from Scotland absolutely called me out as well. She said, "You sound like you're from the coast."
You're from the Sunny Coast.
No, just the coast, just the coastline, I guess.
Oh, you are though.
I know, but in front of all my inner West mates. So
Oh, mate, you've been outed.
rattled, dude.
Cosplay's been outed.
Anyway, I thought it was amusing.
Yeah.
I just thought I had never heard this until a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago now.
Yeah, we share the same affliction.
Good word.
Man, I'm busting out the good words today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on top of it. You know why? Because I got up early. Got up and at 'em today.
Won the day.
Won the day already.
Did you come straight here or are you just milling around at home for a bit?
No, I came straight here.
Okay.
Should we do back page?
We can back page it. We're probably at like 46 minutes ish.
Because you had to go and drop the kids off.
Come on, mate. Don't out me like that.
Hey. Oh, in the side. We don't have music. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, back page. Here we go. I wrote down a couple of points here. I've just seen Cody look at one of them, and I saw him react to the first one. I saw you because you hate slandering this team, and mate, they deserve to be slandered at times. I think because they're not as perfect as you make them out to be, or that some people do.
Okay.
The Melbourne Storm. Are they grubs?
To be honest, I can't. Is this in relation to the Cameron Munster incident?
This is just like the combining and the culmination of what I think is years of grubbery, in my opinion.
I think Melbourne.
Not to discard their success, but years of grubbery.
I would agree. I think Melbourne pushed the rules to the absolute boundary.
And I think that's what championship teams do. Like, they got a bit of mongrel in them.
Yeah.
They do push it. But I think they're undeniably grubs.
Yeah. Well, Nelson Asafa-Solomon is an absolute
What
grub.
was the thing? Like, he's had 11 charges in the last 2 years and only not been on the field for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or
That's
1
insane.
week. And I swear they're the same thing every time. Like a late hit, late elbow on on the person they're it's the same thing. And Munster throwing the elbow. Munster always does all that kind of stuff though, I swear. But, mate, they always have done it.
Mm.
They have always done it.
For sure. Well, that's where the wrestle started with Melbourne. The
Christian Welsh.
chicken wing came from Melbourne.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were saying the hip drop came from Melbourne, but if the shoe fits,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I feel like they've always been. Yeah, I think they can't. They're obviously not going to come out in the meeting and go, "Yeah, we are grubs." But I feel like, you know, they should at least acknowledge the fact that they've brought some stuff into the game that isn't, you know, that isn't passing the pub test, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's not considered. Or it would their actions might be considered a little uncouth at times.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. I couldn't argue confidently and strongly that they're not grubs, because for sure they absolutely push the rules to like the absolute limit. And obviously a lot of dirty and potentially dangerous techniques have come from Melbourne. So again, you could just attribute that to being a successful team, like it's just part of it. But you know, there's got to be a line in the sand at some point, I suppose. The
And-
Nelson one's interesting, how he hasn't been suspended at all.
I feel like the next thing that happens to him, but like even Kafusi,
fucking
like the
grub.
amount of like grub. I mean, and in every team, even you know some of my favorite players, they're grubs. Like I really like Mick Ennis. He's one of my favorite players. You
Josh
know,
Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds, love him. Grub. Latrell, bit of grub, love him.
Yeah.
You know, Luai, love like bit of a grub as well.
Yeah.
One of my favorite players.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's levels to it. Like there's being a grub and, you know, not injuring players or harm. Like you can just be a pest and be a bit of a grub, but you don't have to, you know, drop your elbow on someone in a tackle and break their teeth,
For
or
sure.
like them lying off you in a tackle and drop your elbow on them to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I had a thought come up just then while you were talking, and I completely it came and it went so quickly, and it's really bothering me. So I'll try and move on. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like just like being grubby is just kind of part of. Oh, that's what it was. Speaking of grubs, Victor Radley, and we didn't talk about it a couple of weeks ago when we should have, but he has elected to play for England.
We did talk about it. I'm
Did
pretty
we?
sure. I think so.
I just wanted to bring it up again because of how like I'm kind of disappointed.
Why?
Like I think it's cool that like there's going to be good players and it's good for the international game and all that.
He's never going to play for New South Wales. Do you know how many good 13s there are?
Dude,
Cam
it's-
Murray, Isaiah Yeo,
I reckon
Trovo.
mate, you reckon Victor Radley would never play for New South Wales?
Not as long as Cam Murray's alive.
But I still think he'd be in and around. Like he could come off the bench, one injury, mate, he's in.
But
He's been in and around for so long. He's just been unlucky with suspensions and injuries each year.
I mean, I guess like it's just kind of the
Come on, you can admit saying Victor Radley is never going to play Origin.
you know what? If he had waited, yeah, but maybe he doesn't want to wait. Maybe he's like, I want to play rep footy. I want to play it now. I'm sick of waiting. I want to play the World Cup on the biggest stage against the best players. This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that might cost me an Origin career, but you know, I've been in a premiership winning team, finals winning team for 5 years, and
Yeah.
I haven't played one game yet. And there's two, you know, players who are captains of their team and two of the best lock forwards in the comp ahead of me. I don't think I'm going to probably play for the next whatever years.
I understand his decision. He's representing his heritage. That's great. I'm just saying, kind of sucks.
Does suck because I would love to see Victor in the blue jersey. I think he would fucking. Mate, he would
Kill
go
it.
berserk.
Kill it.
Mate.
And
He
I'd
would
feel
be insane.
Yeah, I'd feel so much more confident with him and Angus Crichton on the bench.
Mate, he would be crazy good.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, clearly it can't now.
Well, it can't now, but I don't think it was going to happen for a while. And I just think the way...
Wasn't he going to get picked this year? Don't we talk about it
I don't
every
know.
single
I
year?
feel like he's always in discussion.
Yeah,
But,
like seriously.
but he was in the camp this year, but his head knock. Did you see his head knock? That was nasty.
I actually didn't. He had a seizure, didn't he?
Yeah, because he went into the hip, but he just went hard into the hip, had seizure, etc. But you don't imagine he'd be back for a couple of weeks after something like that.
Yeah, you'd hope. They'd rest him, you'd hope. I think now they're definitely in the 8, right? The Roosters?
Yeah, they're locked in.
They're locked.
Speaking of who's in the 8, I mean, it's up to the Broncos or Raiders. That's really the last spot up for grabs. I had this thought yesterday. I know what I would choose. So, for the Broncos and Broncos fans, is it worse to get the spoon or have a season such as the Tigers have had this year, or be in the top 4/top 8 all year and then proceed to miss out on the finals within the final couple games of the year and choke? What would you rather?
I think the Brisbane run definitely would have been more painful
What do you
as a
mean?
fan. it would have been more painful to be in the top 4.
Mm.
Pumped all year, we're fucking killing it. How good's this? And then with like 5 games to go, just to completely collapse.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, and I can just give you my perspective. I clocked out in like round 11.
From the Tigers.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every
become
week,
numb.
I'm numb. I just watch it. I'm like, oh, we lost again. Damn
See,
it.
I agree. I would rather be shit all year and know that the team I support isn't going to get there than be looking like a chance and giving hope only to have it snatched away from you in really the final 3 weeks of the season.
Did you notice it aligned with the Tigers beating Brisbane and Patrick Carrigan? Probably more so. This is probably more the reason.
I reckon.
But Paddy Carrigan.
It's the same as when Jake Trbojevic doesn't play for Manly. The defense is completely different.
Mm.
Like there's no that's what Carrigan does for the Broncos. He organizes that defense in the middle. Like he's such like a strong player, like a leader, and like this was the best player in the Origin series. Like one of the best players, form players in the competition before his hip drop tackle.
Yeah,
and it's no surprise that following that they've absolutely lost form.
The Broncos are an interesting one. I still think I don't know. I still feel like they're lacking key players in key positions.
They're lacking a hooker
And a fullback.
They've got it. The thing
got a
is, they've
few.
got 4. Well, Tiano Milne is leaving, but they've got Tessie New.
Isn't he at South? Tane Milne?
No, he's going to Warriors.
No, that's Tamari Martin.
Yeah, sorry, not Milne.
Yeah.
Martin. My bad. Apologies. Martin, Tessie New, Cobbo, and then Reece Walsh next year.
Oh, Reece Walsh is coming.
So
How good's that?
they've got quite a few options. So
Reece Walsh, well, Tessie New now
and Herbie and Farnsworth also
can play fullback.
can play fullback.
I think, Reece Walsh is going. I totally forgot about that. Perfect. That solves that problem.
But I mean,
they do like a hooker.
No 9.
Absolutely like a hooker.
Massive loss. Well, massive.
Yeah, there's not many hookers going around either at the moment, is there?
No. Surely they've got some young gun stashed away.
Is that Corey Pace guy any good?
I don't really know.
Don't know.
I'm not sure. But, getting so close. And who they got this week? They got the Dragons, who
They need.
man, they've been winning a couple of games of Drags, mate. They've been going.
Yeah.
They've been like they've not been great, but they've not been shit.
No.
They've beat a couple top 8 teams.
Yeah. They need the Tigers to beat Canberra though.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. I can't imagine Ricky not getting the boys G'd up for this one.
They'll
And
be
they just have to win. They just need they're what, 40 point difference from the Broncos.
I think even if they lose and Brisbane win, they still cover them on points difference. Brisbane have to win by like 40.
I think they're even on points.
Okay.
Canberra and Broncos.
Actually, you
it's
could be
just
right.
it's just points difference.
You could be right.
So they both need to win, but Broncos need to win by 40 something more than whatever Canberra win by.
And the Raiders will not be taking the Tigers lightly.
No,
Like-
I think they're going to put them to the sword.
Like the Tigers at Leichhardt, they'll be like, okay, they're fucking shit, but also you can't. You
They're
just
not
can't.
shit today.
No, you can't treat them like that.
No,
Because the Tigers are weird. Like, there's absolutely no world I can see them beating Canberra. Don't get me wrong.
no.
But, like, I'm just saying the Tigers every now and then will just win one of those games. Like,
They will. Like they
They
beat
beat
the South, they beat the Eels. Who
Yeah.
else they beat?
it just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So they beat Brisbane as well.
Yeah,
And the Cowboys they nearly beat.
that's true. They were robbed.
So these things happen. And my point is the Raiders will not be taking them lightly.
No, I don't think they will. But the Raiders put Manly to the sword last week. Manly absolutely capitulating since the Pride jersey scandal. And now injuries upon I think they've probably had about 5 or 4 season-ending injuries this year to first-team players, which is massive. But yeah, final round. There's still a playoff spot for the top 4 with the Eels and the Storm going toe-to-toe.
There's no way Parramatta win.
But again, like they beat Penrith twice this year, and they've already beat the Storm this year. So you actually, that's the thing with Parra, you just think, nah. But then they're always up for it in the big games.
They do.
They just turn up. So,
Are they missing anyone at the moment? Is Moses back?
nah, full team.
Full team.
Full team.
Melbourne lost last week though, didn't they?
Yep, 18-14 to Roosters. Great, that was a great game as well.
Roosters
if anyone
hot.
watched it. Roosters so hot. Roosters like those bottom 4 teams, whoever gets the Roosters, I would just hate to be them because I cannot see the Roosters losing to whoever they verse in that first week of finals. I can't. I'm sorry. I just don't see it happening.
Raiders?
I don't like. No.
Don't see it happening.
I
No, I
don't.
don't see them losing either.
I think like any like but the funny thing is, like you think the Raiders would be an easy beat in that scenario, but if the Raiders get the Storm, they've got a bit of the wood on the Storm. Like they always play well against them. So like I wouldn't write them off. South Rabbits, it's pretty much locked in. That's going to be the first game of the finals next week.
That's going to be
That's
awesome.
going to be a sick game.
So they're going to play this week and then the week after.
Yeah, I think a lot of players will probably come off at some point during the game. I reckon you'll see. Like Latrell's not playing tonight. Latrell's not in the team.
Isn't he?
No, I
Interesting.
don't think he's playing.
Yeah, I saw Penrith arresting like 13 players.
Why wouldn't they? I wouldn't be surprised to see the Sharks take Nico Hines off when they beat the Knights this week. Like, why would you play?
Does he need to play?
Like, if you're 18-0 up against the Knights at halftime, why would you keep playing Nico Hines before the weekend before the finals? Like, you'd secure yourself a home final. Play Braylon Trindle. You know, I think you'll see a lot of that for some of the bigger teams.
Have they got second locked in?
Yeah, they just have to win
Okay.
because the Cowboys will probably beat Panthers. But again, like the Cowboys, I could see them taking a lot of players off at halftime as well.
Yeah.
Or like resting players during.
Not if they need it. Not if they get to. Not if they're playing for a home final. They won't.
Well, the Sharks just have to win.
Oh,
So
so
they
the
just
Sharks
have-
win. The Cowboys can't get it. But if Cowboys are playing first, I still reckon they'll be trying.
They'll be trying, but
Who's
I feel
playing
like
first? Are the Cowboys playing before?
I'm not too sure. But other than that, yeah,
Let me have a quick squeeze.
couple okay
Um,
games this round.
Yeah, so Cowboys play before Penrith. So
Alright.
there's no way they'll take people off.
Okay.
Sorry, Cowboys play before Sharks.
All right, and do we want to hit? I'm just looked at the time. Rugby Australia.
Yeah, we should talk about this for sure because, firstly, they have publicly launched a $10 million 5-year raid for Joseph Suwali,
Wow.
which is $2 million a season for those playing along at home. An offer that simply can't be matched by an NRL club because the salary cap does not afford that kind of money to one player. Is he worth that? Fucking absolutely he is, in my opinion.
Poster boy.
Poster
Could
boy.
be the absolute poster boy of the rugby union world.
I just
Or
saw
Australia.
a post by Fox Sports, and I'm not too adept with my rugby union. Did I screenshot it? Yes, I did. It says, we've got a guy. This is a quote by the Rugby Australia chairman, Hamish
saw this
McLennan.
too.
We've got a golden decade coming up, including multiple Olympics where Joseph can win a gold medal, play a Lions tournament, and win a World Cup on home soil. And they've got a picture of Joseph Suwali looking wet and hot in the background. Just you know,
so.
just to paint a picture for our viewers at
Yeah.
home. But look, my point is that's a tasty carrot, dangling
That
on a
is
little
a
fishing
fucking.
rod.
That is a
That's
tasty,
tasty as.
carrot.
Or what are you going to do? Stay at the Roosters, sitting behind James Tedesco for another
And
5
Joey
years.
Manu.
And Joey Manu, exactly.
I actually wouldn't hate seeing him go, and I would. I know this. I know that you don't agree, and there'll probably be a lot of other fans that don't agree. I wouldn't hate seeing some of rugby league's best go over to rugby union and help the Wallabies try and win a World Cup in Australia. I would not hate it at all.
I saw a list of players that were like, I don't know if they were targets or just players that came through
Was
the
that
union
like
system.
Burton, Nelson,
Yep.
Tommy Turbo, all
Yep.
those guys.
Yep. Who
Cam
else was
Murray.
it? Crichton, Murray.
Because I mean, a lot of these players like play both or play in highs, play schoolboys.
Played high level union at some point.
Yeah.
Look, I'll say this as someone who doesn't give a flying fuck about rugby union. Get your mitts off our players. All right, I don't want to see them.
disagree.
I don't care. I don't care about the World Cup. I probably won't watch it. And again, I know that's selfish. I'm speaking on behalf of the rugby league
Faithful.
faithful, hardcore faithful. Fuck off.
No.
Right?
I would
And
love
touch our players,
I would love to see some of those guys play union. I would love it.
mate. If you took, let's say they even took 6 of our best players, that would just diminish the quality of the NRL by a significant. That would have a significant impact.
Yeah, but it
on
would
the
be better
NRL.
for the sporting culture of Australia. It would be better. It'd be better for the betterment of sport in Australia for the greater than the singlet comp.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
You are right.
and it would give some other young guns a chance to come through as well in their place, in their stead. I don't hate the idea of players going over. You know, you saw it. Like, a couple players used to do it back in the day. Lottie Keary, Big Dell, Matt Rogers, and some of them came back.
I think
But
all came
Israel
back.
Folau, they
Izzy
tore
didn't
up,
come
mate.
back.
Izzy didn't, but at the
Koroibete.
time, yeah.
Not Ravalawa. What's his
Vunivalu.
name? No, the other one. Radradra.
Semi Radradra, yep. Vunivalu went to the Reds.
Did you see Koroibeti's try-saving
Oh
tackle?
my God, that was insane.
If you haven't seen
that was
it-
the best tackle I've ever seen
Really?
in my life. I reckon that is better than George Tafua's hit on Cam Runcer.
Okay. I can't argue it at all.
I reckon
It
that
was
is.
awesome. Dude, the guy sprinted, for the people that haven't seen it, Koroibete sprinted from the left wing across his own defensive try
So
line.
about
like
55, 60
Would have been
metres.
further, I reckon. I reckon it's like a 60, yeah, probably actually right. Probably 60-metre sprint across to make a try-saving tackle on the right.
And he didn't decelerate at any point
No.
in the run.
No, and he just got low, wrapped his arms around the guy's legs. The guy like tried to jump him almost, and he just took him into touch. It was
Mate, he put
awesome.
him in a row Z.
Yeah, he did.
Mate,
It's
he-
awesome.
It was easily the best tackle I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever. I've watched
Yeah.
it so many
Best
times.
hit. Best hit.
Best hit, best tackle, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Like, amazing.
It was awesome. But I don't know. Let us know what you guys think on the rugby union
Mm.
raid.
Like, we got two sides of the coin.
Two sides of the story. Who's right?
Because wouldn't it be boring for you, Greed, hey?
That would be boring,
That would be
dude.
fucking boring as shit. Okay. Prem, just quickly, Haaland scored a hat-trick. Act shocked. He's a freak.
Dude, his third goal, where he held, like, he got played
He
the ball
held
at
two
his,
centre-backs off
He got
with his
played the-
shoulders.
he got played a ball at his feet. There was a centre back on behind him. He didn't move.
He's
Like, the
huge.
centre back hit him in the back. He didn't move.
Mate, he's just like he's bigger than all the centre backs.
Yeah.
And he's like absolutely unstoppable.
Would you? Honestly, I'm more excited about Haaland's uprise than I am about when Mbappe was coming through. Like, I feel
'Cause
like this is a
Mba-
more meteoric rise. To
Yeah,
the
because
top.
he's playing in the best competition in the world. He's not playing in the Farmers League
Yeah.
in France. Like, you know, like Man City's team is awesome and they're dominating the Premier League, but the Premier League, like in the
Every
last
game's
couple,
tough, yeah.
every game's tough, and like, you know, it's not. You've got two teams there at the moment that have been recent Champions League winners. City haven't won a Champions League.
Mm.
You know, how many champions, current or Champions League winners, own in League One within the last 15 years?
Mm.
Not many.
Mm.
Not many at all.
I just think, like, when you watch Haaland play, like, this is nothing but, like, vibe. But he just looked like he could be anything. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking here, but he could seriously be anything.
He's just dangerous.
Like, you're looking at him and you're like, he's going to go down as a great.
he's just
a great.
He's just dangerous. He's just so dangerous.
It's like, even the goals he scores, those tap-ins, he's just always in the right spot. I don't know how he is. He's just always in the right spot.
it's a gift, mate. That's when you know you've got a serious gift. If you're always there, same as like Messi and Ronaldo, like those great players, like why are they always in the right spot at the right time? Because they just have a gift. They just know. Yeah, they probably train and they know the game well, but they just know
They just
where
got
to be.
They got that sixth sense.
Yeah,
innit?
the sixth sense. They just know where to be at the right time. You know, same with like the great defenders, the best, like anyone in any position, any sport, they just have that knack.
The scariest part about it is how like you say, granted, he's playing in like the best team in the world with Kevin De Bruyne behind him. But the transition,
I know,
like how seamless has his transition
so
into the
smooth.
Dude, he's walking, he's
He
instantly
scored
scoring goals.
Yeah,
Like,
But
how many goals
anyone-
is he on? How
he's
many
on
goals?
6 goals. But anyone who said, I feel like I said this before. Anyone who said like, "Oh yeah, I don't think he'll score that many goals. I think he'll struggle," is a fucking idiot.
Shut up,
honestly,
mate.
like
Literally,
the
shut
bloke's
up.
a freak. The City team's amazing. They've been banging in goals for fun without the striker.
Yeah.
And now they have a legitimate striker.
Yeah.
Like, of course, he's going to be dangerous, and they're going to be way more dangerous. So there you go.
They'll win the Champions League.
You reckon they're going to
They'll
win?
win the Champions League.
They could, but
Who's going to stop them?
Madrid, Bayern,
Bro.
like teams with Champions League history. Just
Can't say
watch. I'll just add on that note of Mbappe. I feel like if Mbappe wants to be a great player, like, yeah, staying at PSG is on fucking crazy money right now. Like we went through, crazy money. But, you know, memories over money. Get the glory. He needs to go to a different club. He needs to, maybe not the Premier League, but, you know, Madrid. I know Madrid chasing him. I'm sure there's probably a Prem team that could afford him. He needs to move.
I don't know. I don't like when players go to PSG. It's so dead. It's like Neymar went there to create his own legacy, but he kind of like not ruined his career, but his career never kicked on the way that it should have.
He needed to win the Champions League to do that, and he got to one final, and then they lost. What was it, 1-0, 2-1? So
Was that against Bayern? Yeah,
in the COVID year. So, yeah, is what it is.
I agree. I'm with you on that. It like again, it's up to him. Does he want to create a legacy or not?
True.
So
That's a good point.
Anything else from sport?
No.
If there is, we've forgotten.
No, we've forgotten. Music this week. Do you have a song?
No. Do you? You caught me off guard. We didn't even think about it.
Do I have a song?
Wait, let me have a quick squiz what I've been listening to this week. Surely I have something.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, this song actually came up through because I was listening to the music you put in last week.
Yeah.
It's called Outstanding by the Gap Band. I won't play it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Outstanding by the Gap Band.
Boom. You heard it here first. All right. My name's Alexander.
My name is Cody.
This is episode 50. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.